Hello everybody and welcome to my review of the newly released Wolf Predator Heavy Weaponry version from Hot Toys. And this figure just arrived and it is, well, a very cool figure. Take a look at the box here and let's try to see what's inside. And as you can see here, besides the figure of course, we get a lot of extras. It looks really impressive, and I can't wait to get this figure and all this stuff out of the box and take a closer look. So here we have some of the extra included pieces. The shoulder cannon here, looking very cool, and some of the other stuff as well. But I might warn you already, because this review might be significantly longer than my usual reviews, and I'm not a very huge fan of very long reviews, but it will take some time to cover all of this.
So here we have Wolf Predator out of the box, and I must say I really like the look of this new Predator, and it's quite different from other Predators. But let me begin by saying that I don't own any of the previous Wolf releases, so this is my first Wolf figure, and I can't really do any comparisons to the older ones. If you would like to watch a very good video about this figure, check out Xenomorph here on YouTube with comparison and in-depth details and movie accuracy as well. Go watch it, it's absolutely worth it. But I'm going to focus on the figure itself and my honest opinion about it, and then I'm going to compare it to some of the other newer Predator releases, because there are some differences between this one and the older ones. But first, let's focus on this figure. And let's begin with the accessories. And there is a lot of stuff with this figure, so let's make a quick overview of what you get. First, this very impressive bendy wire whip in the long version, and in this version where the whip is folded and you can attach it to the figure with this small piece here in his belt. Then we get the shuriken we have seen before. We get the combi stick, we have also seen that one before, and of course it can be pulled out and back in. Then we get the handgun version of the shoulder cannon. We get two long wrist blades and the two short ones here. Then we get his med kit and his cleaner kit. This is just one piece that can be put on the back of the figure, and this piece opens up and you can see some of the tools inside here, and the instruction manual tells you exactly where to put them, and it can also be connected to the back of the figure. Then we get the biomask, and finally we do get two extra hands, and that's all. 4 hands in total, and that's really not much. And finally also a look at the included base. And I think it's cool to include a sculpted base for a figure. This one might not be the best that I have seen, but it's nice to have, and well, it's a bit dull looking, but it's an easy fix, and I think I'll do a future video trying to make this base look a little better. So one of the things that has been discussed, whether it is a brilliant solution or not, is the attachment of the second shoulder cannon here. And when you get the figure, you have this piece that can be easily removed on the back side of the figure. Just a little piece like this. And as you can see, we have a peg hole here, and this is where you're supposed to attach the second shoulder cannon. But it's not as easy as it sounds, because you really have to push hard to find the right spot here. Well, this was actually my first easy try here. It takes a little effort, and as you can see, it is very loose. I find that when it's attached, it stays on the figure You can easily turn it around and pose it mostly, but it's not, when you try to pose the cannon itself, it doesn't take a lot before it detaches again. So it's not the most brilliant solution in my opinion, but it works decent, I guess. And most important, it looks very cool with the two shoulder cannons. So let's try to put some of the pieces on and off the figure. And first, as you can see here, the biomask. I'm about to remove it, but the mask has two tubes, and they are connected to the mask, and then they are supposed to connect here on the back of the figure. And I have seen several other reviewers had a hard time connecting these tubes, and I will say it's not easy, but on my figure it's actually possible without any tools where you have to drill holes or modify. So as you can see here, fairly easily connected, and you don't have to drill extra large holes. So I guess it's different from one figure to the other, and I actually think they stay where they are when they are connected. But let's remove the biomask here from Wolf and reveal his face. And I forgot to mention, this necklace is also an extra piece that you can connect or put on the figure. So we have the mandible pieces here, and they go right in, no problems. I guess I have to put this one in first, actually, like this. And then we have Wolf with his unmasked face. And wow, I just like the look of this angry, roaring predator. Take a look. It's impressive. And the quality of his dreadlocks is also very, very good. So this is absolutely one of my favorite unmasked predators so far. Take a look at his acid-scarred side here, where he actually misses one mandible piece. Pretty hardcore battle damage, but still, man, it looks good. But as you might have heard, and if you don't, I can tell you that there are no closed mandible look for Wolf. And well, it bothers me, of course, because I would like to see an unmasked Wolf without, or with the closed mandibles instead of the open ones. This looks good, no doubt, but it would have been cool to have the other display option as well. So, well, it doesn't really spoil the quality of the figure, but it would have been very easy to include, I guess. But Hot Toys decided not to. That's a shame. Well, and then we have here on his arm, we have the wrist computer, and it can be opened up so he can take a look at his wrist computer like this. So I'm going to talk very briefly about the articulation of the figure, and then I'll compare it to some of the other newer Predator releases. And the head movement is good, up and down, to the sides, no problems. The arm movement is a bit limited because of the shoulder pieces, so it can't move up that far. It bends about 90 degrees here, and the wrist articulation is good. Then he can turn at the waist, but it's also limited because of his net, but it's possible. Leg articulation is pretty good. He can almost do the splits, and he can do an, well, close to 90 degrees bend at the knee. And finally we have ankle rocker movement. So it's about the standard articulation for a Predator figure, enough to get you some cool poses, but limited when you compare it to other regular human Hot Toys figures. Now I have brought in one of my favorite Predator figures, the classic Predator, to show you some of the differences between the new Wolf and this one. So let's begin with, to turn off the light here, and as you can see, this one has a light up function in his biomask, and well, I really don't understand why Hot Toys decided not to have a light up function on the new Wolf. It would have been easy, I guess, but well. And this one also actually has a light up function in his wrist computer. He is the only Predator from Hot Toys that has this function. It could also have been included on Wolf, but it isn't. Let's turn on the light again. So another difference is this piece right here on Wolf. It's sculpted, where it over here is actually cloth. So I don't really know what I prefer, but anyway, it's a difference. Another very important difference is that the wrist pieces here are loose. You can turn it around. It's not connected in any way to the arms on the older figure, and here on Wolf they are firmly connected, so you can't really turn them. In some way it's good because they won't fall off when you change the hands, but on the other hand it makes it a little difficult to pose right. You can't really turn the wrist computer over here to make him watch it like you can with this one, where you just can turn it around and he can look down on the computer. So that is another difference. Then Wolf here is, I think his general appearance is more slim, and he seems to be more agile looking than the older ones. But the height is almost the same. So these are a few of the differences I could think of when I compare these figures. And then one important difference, of course, is the amount of hands. All other Predator figures I own have more hands than Wolf, and that could be an advantage actually, because this one is a hand for the classic Predator, and if you like, you can use it on Wolf. It's not exactly the same color, but anyway it fits, and if you turn it around like this, it looks like it could be his own hand. So if you own other Predator figures, you can change the hands between them, because I really think that Wolf needs open hands. And it's a shame that he doesn't bring any. And again, I find it unnecessary. Why didn't they just include a pair of open hands? Would have been easy. But, well. So, all in all, this is just to say that there are a few things I really would have liked. But of course you get a lot of other stuff, and you can't really have it all. So the big final question is this a good figure and should you get it? And I can immediately say that yes, I think it's an awesome figure. I wouldn't have missed it. It fit perfectly with my Predator collection, and it has so many great aspects: display opportunities, cool accessories, and a magnificent head sculpt. So it is a great figure. With that being said, I agree on some of the criticism that I have heard. The lack of hands, no light-up functions, and no closed mandibles being the most obvious. And then I must say that some of the technical difficulties and issues that I have heard about, well, I guess my figure doesn't really suffer from them, but I can absolutely see what other reviewers mean when they talk about the biomask tubes and the shoulder cannon and stuff like that. But all in all, I can only say go get this figure. It might be the last and definitive version of Wolf that we get, so I think it's worth giving a shot. Thanks a lot for watching this review. Leave a comment and subscribe if you'd like to see more.